Hi. So today is World Mental Health Day, and the World Health Organization has decided to focus this year on young people and how mental health, or poor mental health, affects young people. Now, the story that I've got to tell you is not about a young person, it's about my mum, and she was 64 when she took severe depression and psychosis and was admitted to hospital. Now, the reason I'm using her as an example is because her mental health had been poor at different points throughout her life. So when she had been younger, she had experienced postnatal depression, for example, after she had me. So poor mental health starts at a young age, and there's evidence that children up to the age of 16, that 1 in 10 in the UK will be starting to develop a mental health problem at such a young age. So if we think about here in Scotland, for example, it's said that 1 in 3 of us will experience a mental health problem this year alone, and 1 in 8 of us are taking antidepressants to cope with poor mental health. 58% have experienced stigma around mental health, and this is what I hope that this video can do, is to help reduce the stigma, to help to normalise mental health as an issue, because we all have mental health and we all go through periods in our lives which are tough on us, and some of us are affected more than others. I've certainly had anxiety and depression myself at points in my life. The reason I've chosen my mum's story is because I felt her story needed to be told this year. She passed away in the springtime after being ill for 7 years, and she had been hospitalised at the age of 64, as I said, with severe depression and psychosis. And really that was a very hard time. She was clearly not in her own mind, and as a family we didn't know how to help her. She was refusing to eat, and as a result of that she lost a lot of weight. That in turn meant that when she was in hospital, she would get out of bed and she would fall frequently because she was just so thin. And during her 3 years that she spent in hospital, she broke several bones. She broke her hip on 2 occasions, for example. It was dreadful. It was absolutely dreadful. She also received ECT, which is electrode therapy, and it's something that's only given if you're a very, very serious case. And after battling with social services for a year to get her settled, we did get her into a nursing home, and she spent another 4 years in a nursing home. But she very rarely left her bed during that time, and sometimes again she wouldn't eat and she would get thin again, and she just didn't have a good quality of life for the whole 7 years that she was ill. And she also missed a lot of things that were going on with her family. She missed the special occasions that she would normally have been part of, the birthday celebrations, and also she missed the birth of her granddaughter, because she actually went into hospital on the day that my youngest child was born. And so the very first time that she met her granddaughter was when I brought her into the psychiatric unit where my mum was staying at the time. So why am I telling you all this? Well, I'm telling you because I would like you to be aware of some of the things that you might want to look out for in your own friends and family. Because when my mum first took ill, her behaviour started to change, and we didn't really fully appreciate at the time the significance of her behavioural changes. But she was pulling out of family events. So, for example, my children had a nursery show, and normally she would have been desperate to come and see it and cheer them on, but she pulled out and made her excuses. And this became a recurring theme where she wasn't turning up to see us or see her grandchildren that normally she would love to spend time with. She was also staying in the house a lot, and really the only time that she wasn't in the house was when she was going to the doctor or the hospital, because she had developed a lot of delusions around her health. She had become very anxious around her physical health and was convinced that she had broken bones and so on. And over time, this just got worse and worse, and it obviously culminated in her being admitted to hospital. But it started with the small behavioural changes where she wasn't wanting to participate in life effectively. And even other things that she would normally have looked forward to, like going on holiday. She had refused to go on holiday, she didn't want to go. So just keep that in mind. As I say, every situation is unique, but I guess there's a theme of detaching from life, and that's something to look out for. And I would really encourage you, if you're concerned about your friend or family member, take them to the doctor and explain your concerns to the doctor, because the person who's depressed won't necessarily be able to articulate what's going on with them. And I know from when I've had depression myself that it's been very hard to put into words exactly what's been going on for me. And unfortunately with my mum, she was never able to do that. And yeah, I just hope that this helps somebody to recognise poor mental health in their loved one or their friend. So that's it, that's Margaret's story, and I really feel that the last 7 years of her life were lost in a big way, and we felt that loss throughout the 7 years, and it was extremely painful. So look out for your friends, look out for your loved ones, and be aware of behavioural changes within them. And if you're concerned, take them to the doctor. Get them referred to the community mental health team, whatever they need, but get them help. Okay? Take care.